When a woman suddenly goes quiet, most men spiral. Their minds race. What did I do wrong? Did I come on too strong? Is she done with me? But here's the truth. Her silence isn't rejection, it's a message. And the men who know how to read between the lines, they hold the power. Not the fake confidence kind, but the calm, grounded, masculine energy that women deeply respect. In this video, we're not handing you tired tricks or pickup lines. We're diving into the psychology of high-value men and showing you how to turn moments of uncertainty into your greatest advantage. If you're tired of guessing and ready to lead with strength, then you need to watch this to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic 24 and hit the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss a drop of real, no-nonsense advice that actually changes how you show up. Number 1. Her silence isn't rejection, it's data. Most men have been conditioned, almost programmed, to equate silence with failure. She doesn't text back, and suddenly your mind spirals. Did I say something wrong? Did I move too fast? Is she losing interest? We've grown up in a culture where constant validation feels like oxygen. If we're not getting it, we assume something is dying. But that's the mindset of a man who's externally driven. Someone who needs the world to reassure him before he can breathe easy. A high-value man, he breathes steady, no matter what the world says or doesn't say. Silence isn't the enemy. It's a message. A woman's pause, her distance, her stillness, they're not always signs of rejection. Sometimes she's overwhelmed by her own feelings. Sometimes she's unsure. And yes, sometimes she's just not that serious about you. But the key is this: silence always says something. If you stop fearing it and start listening to it, you realize silence is data. It's feedback. And the man who sees it clearly doesn't chase or overthink. He simply reads the signal, in the words of Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. The modern man who thrives in relationships isn't the one who demands answers. It's the one who calmly watches behavior. He doesn't fill in the blanks with his insecurities. He lets the story write itself. That kind of inner stillness, that's power. Because the man who's rooted in self-respect knows this. If she's meant for him, silence won't scare her away. And if she's not, no amount of chasing will make her stay. You want to win in dating? Stop fearing her silence and start trusting your own presence. Number 2, you don't owe her a reaction, you owe yourself composure. This is where many men lose themselves. A woman pulls back, goes silent, and suddenly, it's like their entire sense of worth is hanging by a thread. What happened? Did I do something wrong? Is she testing me? The mind goes into overdrive. But let's get one thing straight. You don't owe her an emotional reaction. You owe yourself composure, because composure is a man's anchor in a storm, not his weapon in a war. That we live in a world that rewards reactivity. The faster you text back, the more you chase, the more you prove you care, right? But what if I told you that's not strength? That's insecurity in disguise. When she gets quiet, most men panic and try to fill the silence. They reach out too much. They over-explain. They apologize for things that weren't even questioned. They try to fix a problem without even knowing if there is one. And that's when the frame breaks. Not because she pulled back, but because he did. He stopped being solid in himself. Remember this. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Her silence isn't an event that requires your reaction. It's a moment that reveals your strength. A high-value man sees her silence, and instead of chasing it, he mirrors back presence. He doesn't beg for withheld energy. He becomes more rooted in his own. Because if your identity unravels every time a woman steps back, then your identity wasn't grounded, it was borrowed. You don't prove your worth by chasing what's slipping. You prove it by holding your center when everything around you is tempting you to abandon it. That's composure. That's what makes a man magnetic. Not his words, but his ability to sit in the silence, unshaken, unbothered, and unmoved. 3. Sometimes silence is her way of measuring your emotional strength. That, let's be brutally honest, silence from a woman doesn't always mean disinterest. Sometimes it's a test, not a conscious one, but a primal, almost instinctive scan, a check of your inner core. She's not looking for perfection or bravado. She's watching, quietly, to see if you'll remain anchored when the waters shift. Can you hold your center when the warmth fades? Can you stand tall without constant affirmation? That's what she's really feeling out. Not your words, not your wallet, your equilibrium. Because in a world full of emotionally erratic men, the man who stays still speaks volumes. Think about it. When a woman suddenly goes quiet or pulls away, most guys panic. They send walls of text. They overanalyze every move. They try to fix something that wasn't even broken. Why? Because they haven't built emotional self-reliance. But the high-value man, he pauses. He breathes. He understands that silence is often space. And space is sacred. It reveals the truth. I once had a friend, solid guy, who was seeing a woman that suddenly went distant. Instead of reacting, he stepped back, stayed on his path, and didn't beg for connection. She came back, not because of what he said, but because of who he was, unmoved, grounded, secure. The Stoics called this ataraxia, a lucid state of robust inner peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Her silence? It's not the threat. Your reaction is. Emotional strength isn't shown when things are easy. It's revealed in the tension, in how you handle uncertainty. That's when a man's character is on full display. So when the silence comes, let it. Don't fill the gap with noise. Stand in it. Own it. Let your calm presence say what your words never could. I don't chase storms. I weather them. Number 4. Don't chase clarity, reward honesty. A lot of men get emotionally tangled in the need to know where they stand. They start interrogating silence. What happened? Why isn't she responding? What does this mean? But the deeper truth, that need for clarity is usually just fear in disguise. It's the fear of the unknown, the fear of rejection, the fear that maybe, just maybe, you're not enough. But here's the Stoic truth. Life doesn't owe you clarity. People don't owe you explanations. What matters is how you respond when things aren't clear. Clarity is never something you extract. It's something revealed over time through behavior. When you panic and chase answers, you're not looking for truth. You're trying to soothe your ego. A high-value man doesn't do that. He stays grounded. He watches, he listens, and more importantly, he trusts patterns, not promises. Does her energy match her words? Is she showing up or just saying she? Well, that's alignment. And if there's a mismatch, he doesn't chase. He lets go with quiet dignity. Because for a grounded man, self-respect isn't negotiable. Think of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." You don't seek comfort, you seek truth. And truth shows up through consistency, not conversations. So when you stop demanding clarity and start rewarding honesty, even when that honesty means distance, discomfort, or letting go, you show strength. Real, masculine strength. The kind that doesn't cling. Because if she's meant for you, her silence will break. She'll return, and you'll still be standing. If she doesn't, you didn't lose a soulmate. You dodged a storm disguised as intimacy. And that's not a loss. That's wisdom. Number 5. Silence reveals more about you than her. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men avoid facing. When a woman goes silent, it's not just a test of the relationship. It's a mirror held up to you. Her silence reveals more about you than it does about her. It exposes your internal wiring. Do you spiral into doubt? Do you start scrolling through old messages, searching for the moment it all went wrong? Or do you stand firm in who you are, rooted in your purpose, not in her presence? Let's get real. Most men have been there. That moment when the messages stop, when the energy shifts, when connection fades into static. And in that void, they unravel. Not because of her, but because they never actually built themselves to stand alone. A man who's dependent on reassurance, attention, or emotional validation isn't grounded. He's fragile, and silence, it shatters the fragile. But for the man who has forged himself through purpose, pain, and practice, silence becomes something else, a forge, a training ground, a reminder to return to self. Stoic philosophy reminds us of this. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Silence is the perfect battleground for mastering the self. When you don't get a text back, do you crumble? Or do you go lift? Do you write, build, sweat, meditate? Because in those moments of absence, the real difference between a reactive boy and a grounded man shows up. She might come back, or she might not. But the high-value man isn't standing still. He's not refreshing his phone. He's not creating mental stories about what she's doing. He's moving forward. Whether she returns is irrelevant. His mission is eternal. So here's the emotional gut punch. Silence doesn't hurt because of her. It hurts because it exposes the parts of you that aren't yet whole. Good. Let it. That's where the work begins. If she goes silent, don't panic, don't chase, don't collapse into overthinking. Observe. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Let her behavior show you who she is, and let your response show you who you are. In this game, the man who wins is the one who doesn't need to win. He's not looking for external approval. He's embodying internal power. Next time the silence comes, don't fear it. Welcome it, because it's not just a test of her intentions, it's a test of your masculinity. And a high-value man never fails that test.